Welcome to the perfect pitch, personal and professional pitch. I love pitching. Obviously, we do it on elevator pitch, but I've learned a lot about it, and I want to get right to it. The number one thing about pitching is value. And if we look at value, we have to understand credibility. And so write that down. We will be giving the perfect pitch guide for free to everyone. So don't worry too much about taking notes unless there's something that really grabs you. But let's talk about credibility. Why is credibility so important in a pitch? Most people don't think about credibility. They waste their time pitching features and benefits, which have nothing to do with value other than it's a machine gun approach to value. Pitching features and benefits is a machine gun approach because you don't know where the alignment is and you have no credibility. And the most important thing is credibility, because if I'm 100% credible, which I never am, but if I was 100% credible, we could have the hundreds of people that have joined us today and the thousands of people that will listen tomorrow, and I can say, look, just wire me $1 million, and I promise you, at the end of the year, I'll wire you 2 million back. That's credibility. But what people do wrong in their pitch is they oversell, back-end sell, manipulate, even lie sometimes, or even cheat the investor. And the minute you move off of your credibility, now that void gets your attention, the investor's attention, the channel partner's attention, the client's customer, the kid's attention. And we do it all the time. We lose credibility in nonsensical ways and with low value features and benefits by trying to outwit somebody instead of illuminating what the positives and the negatives are, as long as we can quantify the value. So if you are pitching, make sure that you, whatever context it is under, in person, on the phone, via email, social media, radio, print, TV, your videos, your written PPMs, your executive summaries, go through it with a fine-tooth comb and see where things are not truthful. Because the minute somebody recognizes something that's not the truth, they start looking for things that aren't true. And even worse, they start looking at things as if they're not true that are true. You lose so much statistical success, so much, when you don't consider credibility first. Your credibility in a pitch, personal and professional pitch, is the most important thing to practice. Not only in business, but in life. Now, remember, we're all hypocrites, right? We all unintentionally say things that are exaggerated. We even lie to help and hurt somebody's feelings, whatever it may be, unintentional problems. But we need to correct those and illuminate those when we find those out, the ones that we do inadvertently or unintentionally. If you're going to spend 80% of your time on one thing in your pitch, it should be your credibility. Making sure that everything that you say is truthful or is close to what you know to be the truth. Now, what's the number one most credible thing that you can say to somebody? And I will refer back to one of my mentors, and who I love because he's perfect at this, is Gary Vaynerchuk, right? I don't know, but I can find the answer from an expert, from someone who does know, someone that has the situational knowledge, experience, advice that you do need. You know, I have some guys who do some business development, and I'm coaching them. Some of them have, consulted for me, done other things, and they just talk out of their bumpit. The puppet that's down there, the bumpit, I call him. It's a muppet. It's ridiculous. And everyone around the room, while they're talking out of their bumpit, while they're talking without credibility, all the people around the room are looking at each other like, now what can I believe and what can't I believe? We need to hold our credibility. So many deals are lost when they shouldn't be, because people talk about features and benefits that have no quantitative value. It's a machine gun approach, and they forget the number one thing that you need to talk about, which is credibility. Fine-tooth comb. Everybody, fine-tooth comb. Go ahead and have people listen and say, what questions are you considering? And if you don't know something, say, I don't know, but I will find somebody that does. And then you look like an empowered leader and in person with integrity. All right. So credibility is number one. What's number two? My favorite. People buy on emotion for logical reasons. What does that mean? Well, people have to have an emotional attachment. So you have to find out what they like and what they don't like about something. The quintessential example of people buying on emotion for logical reasons is I bought a Ferrari on emotion when I was young. I thought for sure that everybody would respect me. I thought it was going to be the best thing for business for me. I thought that women would want to go and date me because of it. All types of things. I thought it would be the greatest thing that I've ever bought. I was so emotionally, and then people bound emotion for logical reasons. Then I told everybody, what a great investment was, what a great deal it was, that this thing was so well tuned and so amazing that they even put in extra motors in the windows so it rolled up faster, and all this stuff that we hear on the emotional attachment side of things. But people bound emotion for logical reasons. All I did learn about a Ferrari, by the way, and I don't think that you shouldn't own a Ferrari. You just should learn from in the lessons from owning a Ferrari. And if it's right for you and it makes you happy, hold on to it. And if it doesn't make you happy, then sell it, hopefully for a profit, because you've learned from me to make sure that you quantify purchases and not just buy on emotion when you do those things. But what I did learn about a Ferrari, just so you know, is that if you drive them a lot, they break down. If you drive them too little, they break down. It's probably one of the most expensive cars to fix if they do break down. People mostly don't admire you or think you're successful. They just think you're an a-hole. Women absolutely may go out on a date with you, but what I found out is just a quicker way to reveal your true anatomy to them. It was an ego-based purchase nonetheless, to stay humble with that. And I have learned. It's funny though, because later on in life, I bought a Ferrari to flip, which wasn't an emotional decision. It was a business decision. So many times people buy on emotion for logical reasons. So if you're credible, you got to make sure that people are emotionally attached. The 3 reasons that people won't buy from you in a personal or a professional level, they won't share a vision with you, is number 1, time. Number 1, time. I don't have time to listen, right? And so we're always competing against that attention. That's why we stimulate interest, transition interest first in order to share a vision, because you have to be able to grasp that time. And then second one is emotion. The second reason people won't buy is it's just emotionally not a good time. They're something has happened in their life. In fact, in this current state of accelerated uncertainty, people use emotion all the time to slow down deals, quit deals, make that the reason why we can't do business at this time. And so not only do you have to grab time, you have to grab emotion. And we grab time by stimulating interest and transitioning it, but we grab emotion by finding out what they like and what they don't like, and allow them and understand what they do by asking open-ended questions about what they're doing today with your type of product, service, or solution, or what they're doing today without your type of product, service, or solution, and then be able to attach that emotion to you. People will buy on emotion for logical reasons. So many times, I have this in my book. I don't know if many of you have read it, but one of my favorite stories about this is my retirement plan. To prove people buy on emotion for logical reasons, I was going to open a store on 5th Avenue. And since I travel all around the world, I was going to buy unique items. Put a big sign on the front window on 5th Avenue, 90% off. And I was going to mark all of the, $2 to $10 items that no one's ever seen before up to $2,000 to $10,000, and then mark them down 90%. And I was going to put beautiful interior decoration in there. I was going to put champagne and beautiful people, salespeople in there. And I was going to sit back and watch SportsCenter all day, maybe have a couple drinks. And that was my retirement plan. And I was going to call the store emotional attachment. Credibility, number 1. Emotional attachment, number 2. Third, time and emotion are 2 of the reasons. Now, the third reason people don't buy, don't share a vision, reject your pitch, is value. So how do we deal with value? Everybody knows I have a 120 exchange rule. The criteria that I use with emotional value and quantitative value, actually math, money, time, resources, etc., is I want to provide or illustrate and with the credibility that I am going to provide $100 worth of value and only ask for 20 back. $100 of value and only ask for 20 back. In fact, in the morning, part of my meditation is I visualize my room being full of $100 bills and know and feel and dream about exchanging $100 bills for $20 bills, $100 bills for $20 bills. I want to emotionally feel what that is so that sometimes when you get into a meeting or into a room, if you're not carrying the right energy, it actually diminishes your credibility, which we all know is the most important thing about pitching. Oh, that's weird. His energy was off, or he was, and then they start putting judgments and conditions and start defining why your energy's off. And it may be because you're in trouble with your wife, or it may be because you ran out of gas or something else happened. So I am very aware and practice my 120 energy first. I walked into a family party and I was on a coaching call. Things were going on. I just wasn't centered. And I walked in, and the funny thing is my nephew, who he and I are very close and usually lights up when he sees me, he looked right through me as if I wasn't there. I'm sure you've all seen that before with someone that you love or care about or haven't seen. And then my mom, who normally, is just so excited to see me, probably too excited, doesn't even turn around, doesn't even care. But I knew I felt my energy was off. I didn't have that 120 energy. I didn't have that value inside of me. Forget being able to articulate quantitative value. And so I went outside, stop, drop, and roll, right? I stopped the ego-based emotions. I dropped down to neutral. I rolled back into 120 exchange value energy. And I walked back into the party. And guess what? My nephew lit up, gave me a huge hug. My mom felt me enter a room as she should, and others should feel you come into a room, flipped around, lit up, and was so excited to see me. That's somebody that knows how to pitch. You've seen them step on a stage. You've seen them step into a boardroom. You've seen them jump onto a Zoom now, and they're carrying that energy. Everybody just lights up when they walk in. That's what you want to practice. Now, the other side of it, right? Time, emotion, value is just being able to articulate the quantifiable value that you have, which aligns with the credibility in which you have spoken or illustrated through the print collateral, examples, whatever, a deck, executive summary, business plan, whatever it is. The problem that people have is they are stuck on features and benefits. And once again, that's a shotgun approach to pitching, because you got to get lucky that one of your features or benefits is something that's aligned with the time, emotion, and value of the person that you're talking to. You need to quantify value and explain with the lessons and the stories exactly what somebody's going to get in that 120 value. Because if you can, it's quite an easy decision. If you have credibility, emotional attachment, and you can say, look, I guarantee you're going to make $100 if you give me 20. Can you see anybody in the world that wouldn't do that? Can you see any reason why you wouldn't want to move forward? You've got to be able to quantify the reasons people do it, the impact that it will have on that business, and the capabilities. And we talk about capabilities as the skills, the knowledge, and that inspiration that you have. The capabilities that align with, are supplementary to, or synergistic of the time, value, and emotion of the person that you're pitching or group that you're pitching. That's how a great pitch is done. Now, the closer you are to credibility, the less work you have to do. The better you have emotional attachment, the less work you have to do. But in the end, if you can get time and emotion out of the way and you are strictly working a pitch off of a value, it's all math. The closer they feel that you can guarantee $100 for every $20 they spend, they will not see any reason they won't want to move forward. Now, the third in a pitch is one that has evolved in my career. And it's understanding the total impact. Because nowadays, I used to teach credibility, emotional attachment, really get into the RIC, the reasons, impacts, and capabilities, asking open-ended questions to learn and align with the supplementary and synergistic with your capabilities, with what they're looking for. And we never talked about the overall impact, the greater good, the happiness factor, the thermometer of all, right? Nobody's using a thermometer on their deathbed of their bank account. They're using it of how they feel. And that's what I want you to use as well when you're pitching. I want you to see how they feel about this. It's different than the emotional attachment. The emotional attachment is about understanding their egos and feeling a need that's far more than just a surface substantive need. It's an emotional need that they may have. A need to be right, a need to be offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, right? All driven by the primary need of fear. But understanding that emotional attachment, like me to the Ferrari, or, under my business model in New York City, when my wife comes home and tells me, oh my gosh, I saved so much on this dress. And I keep saying, I don't care how much you saved on the dress. How much did you spend? Right? Because the only thing I worry about, people say, what's this worth? It's worth what someone's ready to pay for it. That's what it's worth. I don't care what you say the discount is. I'm going to have a store with 90% off of everything that I buy around the world that nobody can distinguish where it was from or what it costs. Proving my business model and in sustaining the fact that I can make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. But nowadays we have a greater good. We have a collective consciousness of happiness. The strongest virus that's ever created, one that's shared by just witnessing, the one that strengthens our immune system. How is this pitch impacting everyone? What's that total impact? Is it helping our environment, right? Is it helping our health? Is it increasing our education? All of the different impacts that your business can have. I wrote a book, Compassionate Capitalism, about servant leadership. My actual name, David, means beloved. My last name means waiter or servant. I'm a beloved servant. I want to know how I can impact others. And the way that we do that is strictly knowing a series of questions of how we can provide value or service and what they can do for the solution, service, or you. Right? It's that flow that creates that activity, that energy that creates the true perfect pitch. And it's an incredible feat. Now, if we have credibility, emotional attachment, if we have the emotional or the energetic value of 120 exchange rule and the quantitative value of the reason someone's going to do it, the impact it's going to have on their business quantitatively, right? And we can list out, that's money, time, resources, employees, overhead. Hard dollar or hard math facts are quantitative, right? Not the subjective value, right? The subjective value falls in the Barney side of things, the purple dinosaur. Don't make me sing the song again, but you should watch the video. It's pretty funny. But that is the emotional attachment. Quantitative hard money that you can say, give me $100 and I'm going to give me $20 and I'm going to give you $100 back every single time. Now, what's the fifth and last part? And it's the least important part. It's the features and benefits. Now, why are feature and benefits still even included? Because we have to use the features and benefits to hold, number one, our credibility. So when we talk about features and benefits now, we're not a machine gun just firing off. It does this, 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 and this. And if you buy it, you'll get a second one for free. I'll give you my book for free and pay for shipping. No machine gun approach. The fifth is really know your product, service, and solution. Be more interested than interesting. Have credibility and use your feature and benefits to sustain or improve your credibility. So when we go through the features and benefits, now we're reviewing all four of the things and looking and say, it has this feature, and here's some facts, statistics, proof, testimonial, whatever it is of credibility, my 25 years of working in the sports and entertainment world or technology or law or whatever it is. Then take the features and benefits and ask questions, open-ended questions. So what do you like about this feature? What do you do today for this? What don't you like about it? What if it was capable of doing this? That's a closed-ended question. Would it be something of value to you? Yes. How much? Well, let me figure that out. Let me help you figure it out. This is a lot of fun as well, by the way. But features and benefits are extremely important to allow the conversation to flow to, number one, prove your credibility, and two, to gain or align the emotional attachment that you need. And guess what? It also works in the third component. Features and benefits should each one be able to have a quantifiable analysis given to it. Here's the reasons this feature is valuable, why it has a 120 exchange rule to it, or whatever the denominations are of giving more value than receiving. So you can ask the question at the end saying, considering these features and benefits of what my product, solution, or service is, can you see any reason you want to move forward? Does that sound fair? One thing that may or may not be in my notes you want to write down is the great Dave Meltzer close is, does that sound fair? It's so interesting, but I've used subtleties of phrases and words and all types of different things over the years to help people share my vision, and that is a really powerful one. People love fairness. Since you're a little kid, you're like, that's not fair. I tell my kids all the time, the only fair I know is that, Del Mar, it has Ferris wheels and horses and sheep and pigs and all kinds of fun things to do, really bad fried food. But moreover, we use the features and benefits to quantify those reasons. Once again, here's the impact of this feature. Here's the impact of this benefit quantitatively. And then the capability side of things, our skills, our knowledge, our features and benefits, and our desire, all wrapped up into the synergistic, supplementary, quantifiable statement that allows you to say, can you see any reason considering these features? And then by asking them questions, one more thing to add, by that asking them questions about the credibility, by asking them questions and telling what you know and what you don't know and where you got the facts and how it is and what it isn't, illumination, and then emotional attachment. But by going through that, you start to be able to say one other critical phrase. From what you've told me about this feature, about this benefit, about the reasons that it would work for you, the impact it's going to have on you, and the capabilities that are synergistic or supplementary to you, from what you told me. I'm not selling you at all. I'm not pitching you at all. But from what you told me, can you see any reason why you won't want to move forward? Making sure that quantitative analysis is there with 120 exchange energy and math. Energy and math. And then once again, taking the overall story of the features and benefits, talking about the overall encompassing impact that it'll have to save the world, to save the environment, to improve our educational system, to help cure cancer, whatever the huge impact is, that comes forth. But don't pitch features and benefits without relating them to the top four: credibility, emotional attachment, reasons, impacts, and capabilities, quantifiable, and energetic value, and finally, features and benefits. All five are the key to a perfect pitch. There's one more P that's included in everything that we do, and that's practice. Everything that I teach is a practice. That's because I believe in the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Whether it's personal or professional, I practice. I practice in the mirror. I practice on Zoom. I practice wherever I can. I know I learned this from Jay Leno years ago. I hired Jay Leno to speak at a corporate event for myself. And I was so amazed because he speaks 100 days a year. And this is when he was doing, the Tonight Show. And he came down, flew his little plane down, and he went for a straight 2-hour, just bam, 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 bam. And he was amazing. And, I got to talk to him a little bit, and he said, yeah, I do these 100 dates, and what I'm doing is I'm practicing my jokes. And so when I go on TV tomorrow, you're going to hear some of these jokes that I was practicing and getting feedback on. So I know they're all going to work. I said, so I just paid you $150,000 for you to practice? Right? Because he said, yeah, there's activity I get paid for and activity I don't. Practice is an activity that you should figure out how to get paid for as well. So building a system, scaling a system that allows you to practice and still get paid is extraordinary. The better you can do something in the mirror, on a video, family, friends, whatever it is, you got to practice. Some of you may have done this when you have bad news or challenging news. I don't believe in bad or good, but news that carries pain, right? Pain is there physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially to teach you lessons. So if you have to convey a message about pain and lessons that need to be learned, you may want to practice. How am I going to tell my wife or my mom or my parents this painful news? That they're going to have to learn a lesson about me, and I'm going to have to learn a lesson about it, and the lessons and stories that will be created from it. It's going to be incredible, right? Credibility, emotional attachment, reasons, impacts, capabilities, total impact, all led by the features and benefits. You need to practice, especially when you're given a limited amount of time. To finish up, I have a show called Elevator Pitch, and we purposely give 60 seconds in an elevator to pitch. And we put a huge clock in front of you that counts down. And it's amazing how people who don't practice, and it's unfortunate for the investors that we have on the show, because a lot of times some of the best investments get screwed up because they get caught up in time and haven't practiced enough. If you can do it under the constriction of time, right? When you put pressure and squeeze a lemon, the lemon juice comes out. So you got to practice a lot so that when you're squeezed, credibility, emotional attachment, quantitative reasons, impacts, capabilities, total impact, and the right features and benefits all come out, even if you only have 60 seconds to do it. That's what I'm talking about. When you practice, you get better. That's the way the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum works. It's the way the cellular memory works with the neural pathways in your mind to the intermediate memory of our subconscious that's accessing about 40,000 of those thoughts every single day. And that's what's speaking to your DNA, your quantum memory, that's creating your frequency, your vibration, so you can just flow and go with the flow. So that you carry the credibility and emotional attachment, that you carry 120 energy. So people see, feel, and hear you in a way that nobody else can carry. And that gives you efficiency, effectiveness, and statistical success. All right. Hopefully that 30-minute segment helped you out on the power to pitch. Please, email me. I'm going to take some Q&A now. Don't forget, you can email me. We'll have the replay of this for everyone and the Q&A we're going to take right now. We also will send you the guide for the perfect pitch. And also on May 20th, my office hours at 3 p.m., I'm going to do a pitch competition. So we'll be emailing everybody as well. If you want to join the pitch competition, we are going to have 10 companies pitch me at 3 o'clock. And the winner is going to get free coaching from me on their business to help them not only with situational knowledge, experience, and advice, but also my relationship capital. So if it needs funding or channel partners, whatever it needs, you'll get all of that for free. So please submit and let me know. David@dmeltzer.com. My text community is 949-298-2905. Perfect. All right, let's take some Q&A. We got a ton of them in here. Let's grab them real quick. Good to be joining from Nigeria. Thank you. What is your professional outlook on MLMs, such as Primerica Financial Services? Okay, I love that space, by the way. But MLMs, if you have two things. One, if you have a desire to must be what you can be. If that is something that you have, if you must be what you can be, but you also don't have money, if that's the position you are in, MLMs are literally one of the best things that you can do. Selling financial services, especially anything that takes grit. It only takes time to network in person, on the phone, via email and social media of a good product or service, one that's credible, has emotional attachments. You are able and can articulate and quantify the reasons, impacts, and capabilities and show an overall impact to somebody, and has these great features and benefits that relate back synergistically and supplementary to those capabilities of all the above. MLMs are awesome. I'll tell you the problem with MLMs, though, is that 99% of the people quit when they're 25% of the way there, and the MLM wins because they get the people that you got. And then of the 1% that hang on, another 99% quit, and the MLM, multi-level marketing, direct sales, they get all the people that you work for. And that only took half as much time. And then in half as much time, you get to 100% of there. Then you got the 1% of the 1% that are out there claiming that MLMs are the greatest things ever, and they make so much money. And then nobody is accountable Meaning, what did I do to attract this to myself, and what am I supposed to learn? No one's accountable in the MLMs to say, well, maybe I didn't work the way I should have, why is that, and so they go ahead and just blame that it's a pyramid scheme or whatever it may be. I don't believe that. I don't believe that about MLMs. I believe the people that have grit, that don't need any money to start a business, but have the grit to be what they must be, can make money with a good product, right? There's good and bad in every single industry. Dentists, I have been back-end sold, oversold by, the cable company, right? This is amazing right now. The air conditioners for my home, we don't have that, in 15 years it broke down. We don't have that part anymore. So, it's $7,000 for a new one. Sorry, there's nothing you can do. Oh, really? Because when the guy gave me that air conditioner, never said it was a possibility, probability, or even a reality that ever happens. The guy who sold me my copier, right? They knew their sales reps flip all the time. So when that guy said it had $1 buyout and I'm calling up and like, oh, sorry, it's $1,200 to, pick it up. Really? Because the whole thing was like $1,200. Aren't you guys sick of that? So don't just apply, the skepticism and non-credibility to different industries. Look and see how and who make the money. In MLMs, people who don't have money and have grit can win. If you're the 1% of the 1%. If you're not, don't do it because the house wins. Good question. Sorry, get emotional. All right, I'm curious about what David said. Time is an illusion. Hope to hear more about the thoughts. Thank you, Annie. What does that mean, time is an illusion? Well, I'll explain it to you. Like, if this training sucks, this will be the longest hour of your life. If this training is awesome, and time, it's an illusion. It's what you do with your time, which is why I use the Meltzer kaleidoscope, a lens of productivity. How much value can I provide? Accessibility. How am I accessing what I want, and how accessible am I to others? And the lens of gratitude. So I'm enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential using these lenses. And if I do that, that value is there. Time is the illusion that I want it to be. It's one of acceleration and growth to what I want. Time is an illusion because you control it. It's a man-made construct. Time is all relative to the way that you feel, the ultimate thermostat of your life. Time can be utilized in order to effectuate the thermostat of your bank account if you're efficient, effective, and statistically successful, all relative to the illusion of time. Do not let time control you. Do not let it limit you. It is a man-made construct. You can utilize your time in a variety of ways. When I meditate sometimes, check this out. You may not believe it. And like I always say about the woo-woo stuff that I do, what's the risk and does it work for you? But there's a sun and moon meditation that you can bend time. It'll take you through a meditation. I've done it before, and I literally felt like I spent 2 hours in the meditation and it was 2 minutes on my clock. Tell me how that happens. I'll tell you, perception. And if we have anything relative to the subjectivity of our perception, the projector of our perception, then time is an illusion, the same word of everything else that we see. Why? Last thing on this, because we give meaning to everything we see. We give meaning to everything we see. And until you realize that, you will not be able to have the mindset that you need. You will not be able to manifest things rapidly and accurately until you believe that you give meaning to everything that you see. You put the judgments and conditions on that, including time, which is an illusion. All right. How do you build credibility for your first ever pitch in the professional world? You can't do anything but build credibility. Here's one of the difficulties I see in pitching and business and mindset, meditation, all of these things. People don't see it as a practice, right? I'm blessed to have the background in sports and such a business background in sports, and seeing and experiencing as a participant and as an agent and as a business person. Because why? I just always think about the first time I grabbed a golf club. What credibility did I have the first time? The only thing I did, the capability credibility. Where was my skill level? What was my knowledge of the game? And where was my desire? Right? That's it. So if a hockey player has his first time, he's going to be probably better than somebody that's a bowler. because there's similar skills, similar knowledge in order to hit a golf ball that there is to hit a hockey puck. Unlike bowling, where you don't have the same skills and knowledge and desire. People ask me how I got into sports and a career in sports. I did this great thing with Bruce Tollner from Rep 1, credible person, legend of sports agentry. But, we were talking about, wow, how'd you end up in sports from being a CEO of a telephone, the PCE phone, the world's first smartphone? How'd you end up, getting to run the most notable sports agency in the world and work with Bruce Tollner, who worked his way up through Buffalo Bills and went to law school and all? Because I had the skills, the knowledge, and the desire. I had synergistic and supplementary capabilities to what Lee Steinberg needed at the time. And you could do the same thing. How do you have credibility for the first ever pitch in the professional world? You will only have the credibility that you do. If you're in single A, then do what you need to do in single A to get to double A. And the same thing holds true about pitching. Pitching in baseball and pitching in professional and personal life to get what you want. How can you go back to your center so quickly when you're very emotional about something? Look, it's practice as well. When you are very emotional, you are usually an ego-based consciousness. The primary ego is fear, everything else secondary, inferiority, superiority, separateness, anger, frustration, anxiety, offense, guilt, resentment, all these things. Well, when you're emotional, you're on fire like I am right now. My mind, body, and soul is on fire. And if you told me to get back to neutral, how do I do it? Because I practice. I'm a ferocious Buddha. The most ferocious thing that I do is to stop. And that's what's so cool about this time is it's forcing us to stop. And then I drop. There's the Buddha part. I breathe. I get to center. I get to neutrality. And then I'm able to roll in the right trajectory into the truth, into my potential, into the trajectory of the objectives that I have from being a student in my calendar, from studying, putting attention and intention, and coincidences that I want from what I have planned, what I don't have planned in my sleep. What was 3 and 4 again? 3 is quantify your reasons, impacts, and capability. 4 is the overall impact. Saving the world is the way that I look at it. What are your favorite sales books you recommend? Michael Bosworth, Solution Selling, Dennis Waitley, Zig Ziglar, just to give you the authors. And then for me, the greatest sales books are Course in Miracles, Wayne Dyer, Power of Intention, and of course, Think and Grow Rich. They're not specific to solution selling, spin selling, or any other selling systems, although those will give you context if you have the mindset control of what you've learned from the other side of things. Jeremy, in your experience and opinion, it's better to lead with intellect or lead with realness, high emotional intelligence when it comes to sales or building lasting transactional relationships. It's best to start knowing which features and benefits give you the most credibility, the most emotional attachment, and the best quantifiable reasons, impacts, and capabilities. Credibility is intellectual and emotional, so it's IO and EO. Emotional, obviously, attachments, EO. Quantifying the reasons, impacts, and capabilities are both IO and EO. Overall impact, again, determined upon what the impact is. If it's, saving our economy, it might be all IO. If it's, increasing the collective consciousness of happiness, it might be all EO. Hopefully that helps you. Do you feel pitches, storytelling are better delivered via person, video, email, or via great copywriting email if personal meetings aren't possible? If in-person meetings aren't possible, which they are today, I equally believe, determinative upon your capabilities of communication and articulating the 5 things that we went over today, that you can do it by email if that's what you're good at. You can do it by phone, which I'm a big fan of. And you could also do it by media, radio, print, TV, and social media. I'm a big fan, if you're going to create quality content and a great pitch, that you go ahead and modify it, amplify it, perpetuate it for all of those ways, increasing your statistical success with the most powerful frequency, vibration, or meaning the idea that you have. Perfect. Starting out in business, what is the best practice for building credibility? 2 things. Managing expectations, which includes detailed planning, and secondly, doing what you say, right? Do what you say. That's all. Do what you say. And if you can't, or, you fail to meet expectations, then illuminate it. Illuminate it. Be accountable. Be accountable. Be gracious about it, forgiving about it. Forgive yourself, but be accountable and illuminate it to people and ask for their help. You'll be amazed. Some of the biggest mistakes that I have turned into the greatest opportunities because of the way that I reacted to the mistake, not the way I acted to make the mistake. Look at all the fulfilled people out there, the successful people that you may see. And look how many mistakes they made, and look how many they still make. I always say, I want to be unconditional, but I live hypocritically. I take inventory of my values every day, personal, experiential, giving and receiving values every day, and remind myself it's okay to be a hypocrite. It's okay to change your mind, because that just means you're learning. And life's about lessons, and lessons keep on coming. If I haven't learned the lessons, I told you, it results in pain. Pain, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial pain. Just an indication I got something to learn. That allows me to enjoy the consistent, persistent potential of learning it. Do you agree that value-based stories are the most important components of a credibility introduction? Well, lessons and stories are a great way to do it, right? So take and reposit the lessons and stories that you have. It'll be great to help you understand your frequency, understand your vibration, and allow you to not only have credibility, but to emotionally attach, and then give you clarity on the reasons, impacts, and capabilities, and be able to quantify those in the terms of material things like money and time and resources and overhead, etc. How to make a clear, concise ask when pitching. I kind of went over that. This is a good question. One of the ways to ask clear, concise is the questions that you ask beforehand, to allow someone to articulate to you the reasons, impacts, and capabilities. So you can say, from what you've told me, blah, 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 can you see any reason you won't want to move forward? Does that sound fair? I'd like to put together a go, no, go plan, step by step, making sure that we stay aligned and that we maintain the time, value, and emotion necessary in order to effectuate the 120 exchange that is present. When speaking too fast, do words get lost? Absolutely, and that's one of my problems here. I speak too fast. That's why I give everybody a guide. Make sure you reach out for the replay, the guide. Don't even have to take notes. You can watch this thing 10 times over, but I want to pour as much content into the perpetuation of this content so you can go back and study it. You can pay attention to it. You can give it your intention to create the coincidences that you want from it. But yes, you can absolutely speak too fast and lose people all the time. Remember, it's going to take about 4 times, because our cellular memory is so stupid, for someone actually to get it within their subconscious mind into the stored intermediate memory at the very least that you can access. That's why I take notes. That's why I do it now. That's why I have lists. That's why I use and be a student in my calendar so I can look things up. Remember, you'll forget every lesson that even I teach you, but you'll forget every lesson you've ever learned, guaranteed. But you have the capability of accessing it. That's the truth. Robin, tips for when you start over in life due to new or realignment. Gosh, starting over. Look, I believe in an open environment like the one that we live in, and Mary Morrissey reaffirmed this to me the other night. She's one of my great mentors. A closed environment, you can start over. A closed environment, you can start over, because with disruption of a closed environment, like an engine of a car, if there's disruption in the engine of a car, it's going to break down or dissolve, right? It breaks, it ends. And then you have to restart, and you start over. You fix it. In an open environment, an expansive environment in which we live in, 2 things are happening. When disruption occurs, you can either dissolve or evolve. And so what I would do, if you want to count it as a start over or a renew or a realignment, is in the evolution of what you want to become, what lessons have you learned? And then go ahead and take stock in those lessons. And then make a plan about the capabilities that maybe you don't have or you need or you want. And find someone in the situation that has those. It's the fastest way to get there. And then ask that person through radical humility for help. And don't be afraid, and keep on asking, and utilize the 25 no rule, right? If somebody says no, just realize you're 1 no closer to what you want. Imagine if I told you you're only 25 no's from getting everything you want. How excited you'd be after 10 no's, 20 no's, 24 no's especially. That's the mindset that I have about no, but I keep asking, knowing that I'm giving somebody the opportunity to help me is giving them the biggest gift I can give them by allowing them to be of service and feel good. Because when people help other people, as I mentioned, happiness is so strong. It makes them feel good. It strengthens their immune system, and it allows them to feel good by helping me and showing that their value and worth is transcendental to everything, that we're all connected. They feel that oneness. It clears the connection and corrosion that makes us feel bad. The one connection and corrosion that we have from the biggest source of energy, light, and lessons to the one over here that we're connected to everything else. Is it okay to use the word now? All words are appropriate. It's just determined upon when and how they're aligned to the situation, right? The F word to me is a word, and it's appropriate in some places. As like any other strength or weakness, you put it in a different place, it's not appropriate. But yes, you can use the word now when appropriate. It's up to you to figure out where it has value, where it's positive, and how it can help grow, accelerate, and increase the value. That's the determination of the definition of words that I utilize and when I use them in order, hopefully, to perpetuate some sort of positive outcome. Any nuances if pitching for a nonprofit foundation? Well, impact's more important, right? If you're pitching for a nonprofit foundation, credibility is super important as always. Emotional attachment super important. But when you're looking at the reasons, impacts, and capabilities, it's really the impacts a lot of times of the features and benefits of the foundation. And so, if somebody's had or shared an experience, a personal one, an emotional attachment to it, people who have had loved ones die of cancer tend to help those foundations that are aligned with the circumstances and life lessons that they've had. Can I join the pitch competition? Yes, Steve, you can. Everyone reach out to me if you want in this pitch competition. Go ahead, text me 949-298-2905 or david@dmeltzer.com. Yes, I am buried, and yes, I do get them myself. I may forward them to some of my team, but you'll see that's me forward to them. If I'm cutting and pasting an answer, it's not a funnel, right? It's just me being efficient to get back with you and modifying something that's cut and paste. A couple people have a need to be offended. I don't want to offend anyone. I just want to be of service and of value to you. So please reach out. It is me. So I appreciate that as well. But please join the pitch competition. It'll be a lot of fun. May 20th on Wednesday at office hours, which I do every day to answer Q&A, including for my private group and my one-on-one people. So everybody can join on that. When are we going to focus on branding and marketing? Oh, okay. I will do and take that into consideration. We'll do a branding and marketing. I'll do the Find Your Frequency training maybe in the next few weeks. Please make a note of that, Mikey, that we have a request for Find Your Frequency. If I'm correct, based on what you shared, practice builds and strengthens your credibility. But ta-da, you're right, because you're enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. The better you are at doing something, the better you and the more credibility you have. Definitely a new perspective on practice. Thanks. Question, how do you value yourself? Oh, it's the most important thing that you're going to value. You can't give what you don't have. Most people, including me, we don't value ourselves enough. I'll have employees come in and, they'll ask as we're negotiating. I just hired a consultant. We're hiring some new people to help out. And he's a world famous guy and really great. And he's like, this is what I want. And I just start out by saying, I can't pay you what you're worth, man. I can't pay anybody what you're worth. Although some people don't think they're worth very much. I can only pay you for that 120 rule, right? For my services, solutions, and value, I'll give you $20. You give me $100 worth of value. I don't care if you're worth 1,000, but I need at least more value from you than I'm giving you. It's in business, it's math to me. I give that to other people, right? I don't sell anything, right? I guarantee everything I do. It's a simple business model. Never lock anybody into anything and guaranteeing profitability, right? People offended by that? No, I don't send you my book for free and charge you for shipping, right? I just go ahead and make a room for what I want by knowing that if I empower you with this, that you'll be abundant and make money, and we hopefully someday can share in helping other people make money and have fun together as well. Here we go. Would this type of pitch app be, for example, pitching a book, movie, or show? It applies to all of those. Pitching a book, movie, show. I've used it to get my kids to eat broccoli. It works for every single thing. Trust me. It works. You cannot give me one example where it wouldn't work. Can we go through the order of the perfect pitch once more? It's always good to do. Yes. Number 1, credibility. Number 2, emotional attachment. Number 3, reasons, impacts, and capabilities. 4, overall impact, worldly impact. And 5, features and benefits. And those go back and apply to the first 4. We will send everyone a perfect pitch guide, a training guide for free. Just go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or text me 949-298-2905. Also, if anyone wants my books, I'll give you my book for free as well, no shipping. We're sending ebooks out right now, taking reservations when we get back into the office to send out books to you if you like something signed or given to you. I'd be more than happy to be of service. Do we apply the same pitch fundamentals to selling yourself? What would you change to keep the same if you're looking to get into an industry you do not have any experience in after the quarantines? Illumination. You use the same thing, personal, professional, doesn't matter, but you need to illuminate what you don't know. I call it the Gary V rule, right? He's perfect. I love him. I'll ask him something because I get so, caught up in how much he does know about what he does know. And I get caught up and I'll ask him something else and be like, I don't know about that. But I'm happy to help introduce you to someone or find someone or get one of my guys to find one. So that's what you want to do. You've got to illuminate what you know and what you don't know, especially when you're in a new industry. Go ahead, tell them, look, I want to start out in single A, but I have unbelievable skills, unbelievable knowledge, and most importantly, I got the desire to must be what I can be. Can you see any reason you won't want me on your team? I don't. Who can I practice with to get honest and viable feedback without it being an actual prospect? Family, friends, associates. Video, mirror. All of these are great ways to practice. I still do it. I practice every single day this stuff. And I watch myself, and it's painful. And when it's painful, I know one thing. I got to get better. There's some lessons I got to learn about this. And I watch old stuff of mine when I thought I was super good and I was super bad. Not bad in the sense of good, but just not as good as I am today. What date will more information for the pitch competition be available? Today. All information on the pitch competition. If you email me, david@dmeltzer.com or 949-298-2905, I will send you the guide, the replay of the training, and all the information for the pitch competition on May 20th. And the winner will get free training on their company from me to get financed, better your pitch, your pitch deck, anything that we need. I will give you my full one-on-one training, which is guaranteed profitable, by the way. And it's expensive, but worth it. And it's free for you. All right. How can you maintain your creativity when your current job is more demanding? By the time you're done with work, you are drained mentally and physically. All right. There's the problem. It's not that demanding. Why? Right? Why is it draining you? Right? Why is it draining you? If something is draining you, then you're in ego-based consciousness. You have clogged up your connection to the unbelievable source of energy and light. Are you feeding yourself the right things? People, places, ideas, and food. Are you exercising? Are you taking care of your health first, allowing you to have a source of energy, power, and inspiration? Why are you mentally and physically drained? Let's fix that. Why? What is it about your job that is draining you? Where is that corrosion at? Where's that interference at? And let's ask ourselves why, and let's understand it, and then let's make it a happy situation by learning to love what you do. Because imagine, you love it. You got to practice learning to love it. We do not love 100% of any of the activity we have. I don't care what it is. There's not 100%. It's like credibility. You can't get to 100%. So we have to always learn to love that little percentage that we don't love. And that is a practice. All right. Can you dive deeper on be what you must be? Oh, thanks, Kevin. Yeah. So there's an innate desire of fulfilled people. The innate desire is potential. And there's nothing that is going to allow me not to enjoy the consistent everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of my potential. Right? Someone asked me about Chris Gardner earlier on my IG from Pursuit of Happiness, and I said, one of my favorite guys, but I don't believe in the pursuit of happiness. I believe happiness is the pursuit. Right? My mindset is I love pursuing my potential, and I'm going to change my potential every day, or change what I want every day if I have to be a hypocrite. But I know I know one thing about it. In order to enjoy it, I have to have the desire to be that. For that day, that one segment of time in which I roll up higher and expand and raise my frequency, I must be what I can be today. Because if not, I'm going to quit. And then I'm going to learn in the 1% of the 1%, and the MLM wins, right? The house wins. No, the player wins in my house, not the house. The player wins. The player wins, not the house. I'm not giving him the satisfaction. I'm not taking all my energy and emotion and love and light and lessons and giving it all back at night when I go to bed, just to wake up to start over again. No, I'm not giving my chips to the house when I go to bed. Not a chance. I'm keeping them right with me, and the next day I'm going to pile some more chips on my plate and give them away and make room for more. You must be what you can be. That's the secret sauce. And I can teach you how to do that. It's not just motivating you, it's inspiring you. Inspiring you with your values, understanding truly all the different things, asking and attracting, studying your calendar, do it now, practicing ending fear. All 5 of these things we can get into. How do you get a millionaire to agree to a financial planning meeting and to take financial advice from when you are half their age and not at their level financially? First of all, never count anybody's money, right? Never count anybody's money. Getting somebody with money in front of you is easier than getting somebody without money, because they may actually have the capability to help you. And so use the pitch opportunity that I told you. Forget about what somebody has or doesn't have, right? Think about everybody as a sponsor or a power sponsor. Meaning, do you know anybody that can help me? That's a sponsor. So who cares how much money they have? I've known some of the poorest people that have no capability at all of helping me, that know incredible people that have changed my life with one touch of favor. And then every once in a while I get a power sponsor. That super power sponsor, that guy that not only knows an extraordinary amount of people that can help me, but can help me themselves. Everyone, there's no level. A tree has no branches. We're all connected, as long as you ask how you can be of service of value. Because remember, no matter what somebody has, you also know people, and you also have capabilities that can help and provide service value to somebody else, and know somebody else that has that, and so do they. Sponsors and power sponsors. All right, it is hard noon. Thank you, everyone. Please reach out to me if you want a replay of this. Go on YouTube to get the replay of this. If you want the guide, the pitch guide for free, email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or 949-298-2905. Or you can go to my website, dmeltzer.com/training. Please reach out. Pitch competitions, same place, same bat channel. It is high noon. It is Friday. We're going to have an amazing weekend. Catch up on IG Live. I do office hours at 3 o'clock every day to do Q&A, answer any questions that you may have. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At the end of this, it's just me, lovable, cuddly Grover, or Uncle David, or me. Final words always, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thank you, everyone, so much.